Welcome to Crafts and Minis. This is my hobby week. Thank you so much for stopping by. This week I was able to paint 13 minis, which I'm pretty pleased with. It was a full week, and really I only painted a couple days this week. And I'm also excited, not just that I got some minis painted, but that I'm going to be using these in a game coming up soon. So if any of my players are watching, stop it. You know what to do. Stop it. No spoilers. But what's so fun about this is I've had a few games now in this new campaign. I've been setting up this particular group, and the whole thing with them is they follow this particular, fantasy deity that I've named the Unbroken, I believe. I shouldn't be questioning that. Like, I should know that off the top of my head. And the cool thing about it is like, in order to follow the Unbroken, you have to give up everything that you own, right? And you make these makeshift shrines of all your stuff. And even those that follow the Unbroken, they basically do that, and then they kind of start over with their life. And so any equipment they have, they've had to either be given by people who are going through that same process, or they had to win it over from those who desecrate those shrines, because there's a curse that goes with the shrine that if someone takes the stuff in there, which is awesome for D&D, right? Because it's why do you have this pile of awesome items sitting around? Well, this is my reason why. In some cases, there's this whole practice of laying down all your stuff for the Unbroken, and if anyone touches that shrine of where that stuff is, they get a curse. And it's in the form actually of a neck tattoo in the shape of a dragon's claw, and there's a whole backstory. It's all fine. But what's so cool is I needed followers of the Unbroken that the group can encounter, because unfortunately they've touched that shrine, and they got these neck tattoos, and they started glowing and all this craziness. So now, if the Unbroken see them, the followers of the Unbroken, they're going to get after them. And so I needed figures that didn't have much on them. So what I did is I took this same sculpt from HeroClix, and I rebased it. And then I did just quick paint jobs on all these. And you know my painting style is quick and dirty. So I did a dozen of those. And they turned out fine. Right? But what's so cool about these is they of course can represent this particular group who are followers of this Unbroken character, but also they could be used as brawlers or pirates or whatever in any other sort of game too. So I really like versatile minis, and there are a ton of cool sculpts in the HeroClix line. Now, some of them take a little extra work to get right. You can see I based them up on my counting chips, which worked out really well. And, sometimes the sculpts are a little inconsistent with HeroClix, because they do a ton of minis and have a ton of different sculptors. And so, like anything, there's just some variance in the range. But I really was pleased with these. And I actually bought these before I started the channel. So when it comes to HeroClix that I reference on the channel, I'm really sorry. I don't know the name of the particular character from the game. I don't even know if these were Marvel or DC or some indie company that HeroClix are made for. One thing I'm a little disappointed by, and I could have addressed in prepping the miniature, are on the right shoulder. You see there's that line, and it's just a little gap. And if I wanted to, I could have filled that gap, with Milliput or green stuff, or even maybe some Elmer's glue or whatever, before I primed them and painted them. And yeah, it's noticeable. I do wish I maybe would have done something else. But these are quick and dirty and cheap minis, and it's cool to get them done. And I was so excited because, once in a while I spoil myself with a nicer mini, especially when there are sales like Black Friday and stuff. And I actually got this miniature from the War Store, which is a company that I see at Gen Con. I've been ordering from probably for 20 years. I know they've been around that long. They used to do these crazy deals on Games Workshop stuff, even before they had pictures on their websites, how long I've been ordering from them. And they stock, I believe it's a Polish company, Cybor. And this is one of the minis from that. And you notice, bald, 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 bald. That's another thing with my lore for these guys, is that they really lay down everything. They even strip any obviously like equipment they have, but also they shave their heads, whoever they are that want to follow the Unbroken. And so it's a whole thing. But that's the kind of cool thing when you're taking minis from different ranges and mixing them together, like see what could work based on just little things like that. Awesome. I love this mini. It is so cool. It's a resin mini, which means it's super light, but also it's not as durable as like a HeroClix mini or a Reaper Bones mini or something like that. In fact, if you look at the handle here, this was a happy accident. This handle actually goes like a half an inch or a centimeter further on the original model, but it broke off. And so it's supposed to be a longer handled, like a, big chopper, big, huge cleaver. But it broke off in a way that I was like, you know what, that looks fine for a sword. Yeah, I could pin it and glue it back, but no, for my taste, this is fine. And so I just thought he'd be an awesome leader. And, he has all this like special armor and stuff on, which in my lore means he's had to start barehanded and work his way up to acquire anything that he has like that, right? After he had stripped himself and given it all to this particular deity, the Unbroken. So this is what I was able to do this week, 13. Some weeks, actually, I think just 1 week so far, I've showed you like what I have coming up. And I just wanted to do that this week also. So when it comes to things that I have coming up for the Goblin Paint Challenge for Michael Mordor and the Goblin Army, where I paint some minis each week, I pledged to paint these 4 miniatures. And actually, I have 12 of these miniatures that I just primed up today. If the sun's out, I am priming minis, right? And I'm really pleased with these. These are from Reaper Minis. It's 12 Bones figures. I think they're called Death Shrouds from Reaper. And, my two-tone priming job, black, I'm trying to show you the bottom, which is not easy to show you. Black all around, so that's why the underneath is black, and then white from the top. That's why the top is white, and you get this great two-tone effect. And so I'm going to put some washes on these, a couple different ones like I did for my big old large size wraiths from Rune Wars, the indigo wash first, and then my dirty sepia wash, or sepia wash, and those will work out great. So I'm excited about that. I primed a bunch more stuff too, but the only others I'm going to show you right now are these. Now these are on 2-inch bases, so I'd count these as large-sized creatures, and they definitely are large, and these come from Skylanders. So just a reminder, you can use toys in your D&D game. These are toys from Skylanders. They have crazy bases that I didn't want to get them off of, so I stuck the bases right onto these 2-inch bases and then used my pumice all around them before I primed them up. And they're going to work okay, I think. We'll see. It's a bit of an experiment to see how these will translate into tabletop figures, but you'll see those later all primed up. They should be pretty quick to paint up. And that's my week this week. I hope you're having an awesome week so far. And this is just another encouragement. Go get after your hobby.